Welcome to the 2020 Jazz Philadelphia Summit. My name is Michelle Lordi, and I'm so very happy that Emmet Cohen could join us today. He will not be live with us because he will be on his way to Europe. Hi, Emmet, how are you?
Hey, Michelle, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
So we are talking to you the morning after your weekly live stream from Emmet's Place. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the series. I think you're on your 27th week now?
Yeah, we just did week number 27 yesterday. It's hard to believe. It really is. It started off just with a laptop on my kitchen counter and just playing in front of the laptop and just trying to bring some joy and some good vibes to people. We decided to do it after we saw Sullivan Fortner and Cecile McLaurin-Salvant. They did a live stream at the very beginning, and I tuned in to that and was so positively affected by it. And I think a lot of people were, and it just did so much for the community. We said, why don't we try to uplift, which is one of our main goals as musicians to try to.
You're certainly not just streaming from your laptop anymore, are you?
Realized, it was going to be a long haul. So I learned a little bit about miking and bought a very cheap Behringer mixer board and a couple of mics. There's a stereo mic on the piano, which is like two mics in one, so it captures both sides evenly. And a couple of condenser mics for bass, one over the drums and one on the bass, and started like that, and got a little mix and put it through the computer and used that, and discovered a program called OBS, which is open broadcast software, and spent many nights on YouTube poring over the various technical aspects of that, and how to integrate it with sound, and how to integrate it with video, and how to integrate it with Facebook, and how to integrate it with YouTube. And there was just down to every little minute detail that took hours and hours and hours to figure out, like the delay between the sound and the video when it's live, all that stuff.
What do you do to get the word out about your streams? Anything special, anything you could suggest to other artists who are streaming their shows at this time?
I would go around after the live shows we played for the last 4, 5, 6 years, and talk to people in person and meet them and thank them for coming. I guess it started when we would go and play these shows. I remember one show we played in Chicago at, I think it was called Piano Forte or something like that. It's just a piano store, and only 6 people came to the gig. And we're like, wow, we traveled all the way to Chicago for 6 people to see the gig. How can we make this better? And I think the key to a DIY career in music is kind of staying in touch with those people however you can, and making that personal connection. And so I started a mailing list, and after every show, have either walk around myself or have someone walk around with the mailing list, or everyone that comes up and says, hey, I really liked your music. I say thank you. It'd mean a lot if you want to stay in touch, and know when we're coming back here or playing here, or doing, when that record comes out or whatever it is. And so I think I started a mailing list many years ago, not knowing that there would be a pandemic and that it would be very useful to reach everybody at once. But I think that's one of the main ways that I'm able to get the word out, is through a mailing list. And I would write to everyone just a little something about what we're up to, maybe something else about jazz, or some thoughts I've had, or some recent videos or whatever. And I would do that once a month. And once the pandemic started, I upped it to every week. Write a little something, and then would put the links for the live streams in the body of the email, saying, hey, tonight, if you want to check us out, we'll be playing. So that was part of the way that I initially got the word out, to the people who've been following us, and it's just it's not millions of people, but there's a few people that care, and the music means something to them, and so those are the people that you want to connect with. There's a lot of ideas about how to have a career in music in 2020, and one of the ways that is written about a lot is having 1,000 true fans. And if you have 1,000 fans that will spend $100 a year on you, that's $100,000. That's a living.
Well, thank you for giving us a window in on a little bit of the tech background to live streaming for Emmett's Place. A little bit about the content that you've provided. What have you found that makes for a great live stream?
I think people want to experience some kind of joy in this time. There's a lot there's a lot of different directions you could go with a live stream, and I think people want to see people having a good time. People want to see, hear some uplifting music. I think playing on camera is a lot different than playing live. And the first 10, 15 weeks, it was difficult to try to realize how may not translate, like one note may not fill the room like it does in a concert hall. So how to, I guess it's the difference between acting on stage in like a Broadway show or something, and then acting on camera for a TV show or a movie. I'm not an actor, but I'm sure there are different ways that you're supposed to go about doing those two things. And I think that performing on camera is a little bit different as well. And there's a certain, way that you want to be aware of the camera, but not too overly like playing into the camera. I think there's a medium and a way to kind of like let people in, but not like be cheesing in front of the camera. I think also, what you wear, how the lighting is, how it looks, how the background is. The first couple of weeks, we would kind of like put my plants different places and, create kind of like a forest around the base, or like put some, I have a couple of like stuffed animals or whatever, sitting up on the bookshelf, to try to see if, we could put them in places and put a little something on the bass drum, and it would just be a talking point for the people in the chat, and give them something to kind of, latch onto and talk to each other about, and think, it's funny, and then, it goes beyond the music a lot of times. It's how is the visual presentation, which is a big part of it, especially online when you can't feel those you can't close your eyes and really feel those vibrations the same as you can in a live performance. So I think, to answer the question directly, just a joyous display of togetherness, or a deep moment, someone being emphatic, or someone doing something and really meaning it. I think people relate to that, whether it's, I've done solo performances and trio performances. We've opened it up for guests and different guest artists to come who live in the neighborhood.
I think that really comes across, Emmett, in your performances. There is such a sense of joy. And I remember, I don't know if it was this week but I remember in one of the earliest sessions you did, I remember in the very beginning, hear your friends talking.
Yeah.
And it could also get you in trouble, but it was so great. It felt like I was in a club, yeah, and there were friends around, and people were talking about music and what was going on in their life. And such a great feeling to hear that. And so great that you were able to share that with everybody, not just the music, but the fellowship that music brings, that we all miss so much right now.
The first couple of sessions, we would cook as a band before, and we did like a live stream of us kind of making pasta and put it on Instagram, and we kind of warmed people up before, after the shows, and just kind of like try different things to make it exciting and to like show who we really are, and hopefully have people connect with that. And I think probably a lot of people hated it too, and we're disturbed by what we were doing, and there's always going to be some kind of dissent, but I think the overwhelming reaction was positive, which spurred us to do it even more. And I think one of the original incarnations of if not the first one, we were supposed to play at the Lead Center in Lawrence, Kansas, and my man Derek Kwan, who worked at Jazz Center for a long time as executive director at the Lead Center, and he send us some money to do the first stream. He was like, I'm going to pay you the fee for the gig that you're supposed to do here tonight. And it was a Monday night. And, just do something positive for the world, whatever it is, I trust you, just do it. And that was like such an inspiring kind of gesture from Mr. Kwan, or Don Kwan, as Tootie calls him, Tootie Heath, Philadelphia. He calls him Don Kwan. And it was just like a push to do something, and sometimes it takes that little push to give you the confidence to try something. And it was really just a big trial and error. And from the first day, we took 1 week off in late May during all the height of the protests. In solidarity with the movement, and to not go on like things were normal. And other than that, we played every single week, and we're taking the next 2 weeks off of our live stream. And then I'm going to come, and I think I'm going to plan to do it through the end of the year and then kind of reassess.
I think it's great to hear all of this, because sometimes people think, oh, we're just going to live stream. It doesn't work like that, does it, Emmet?
Sometimes by the time we're done checking everything and trying to get it right, I'm just exhausted. And then it's time for the show. I'm just like, how can I think about what to play and feel the music? I've just been so stressed out with all this crazy technical aspects. And then, just have to take a deep breath and do it.
I just want to thank you. Thank you for sharing your time and your expertise on this subject that's so important to musicians at this time.
It's my pleasure, and I never want to be selfish or anything with this information. So if anyone wants to know any information, I always share any of the technical or marketing or digital marketing or any of the other aspects, performance, whatever it is. With anybody, and it's inspiring to see all the other live streams out there too. And Fred Hirsch had a great one daily for a little while, and Warren Evans, Club Patio, where he's getting Buster Williams and Jeff Tain Watts and all the most incredible musicians in the world to come and play on his patio. Seeing that stuff has inspired me.